It's been 10 years since Inquisition and it's almost faded from your memory. But one day you click on YouTube and see a video for Dragon Age the Veilguard's reveal trailer. It's finally here! You eagerly click, sit back in your chair and think,
what the hell was that?
well, you aren't alone. Veilguard has become one of the best case studies of how bad marketing can absolutely kill the hype for a game before it even starts. And in this case, perfectly rub people the wrong way by accentuating the worst and least interesting parts of the game. Now, yes, I know there are diehard fans eagerly awaiting this title. I'm one of them, but does Veilguard deserve the current public opinion of it from those less than diehard? No. In fact, what has been shown of the title doesn't truly represent how it plays, how it looks, and how it feels in your hands. I can attest to that personally, and I'm sure you've seen or will see journalists talk about it recently as well. What has been shown has failed so comically that it feels almost intentional. So what went wrong? Well, a lot. Let's start with the reveal trailer. What can I say about the reveal trailer that hasn't already been said about herpes? It's hard not to notice when it's right in your face. They should have put some makeup on, let her hair down, and thrown on a tight dress. It's a 2-minute and 7-second trailer showcasing what they should have known would be the most divisive part of Veilguard, the art direction, specifically the character models. It's not that these are bad as many are saying, it's just that the trailer does a frankly amazing job at showcasing them in the worst possible light, metaphorically and literally. Before this trailer, the game was still called Dreadwolf. The devs came out to say that the name change was made because even though soulless, the Dreadwolf is still a large part of the title. The real focus is on you and your companions who are guarding the Veil. I personally prefer Dreadwolf, but I see their reasoning and I see the direction. This is about companions, so let's showcase the companions. That was what they were thinking. However, this was no way to do it. Instead of showcasing companions in a natural in-game setting, for instance, talking to the player character, they put them in cutscenes that made them seem a bit unnatural, like they were made specifically for the trailer and placed in those situations. I see a lot of references to mobile games and Fortnite, and although the reality is companions look a hell of a lot better when you actually play the game, the trailer does make the game look a little cartoony. As much as you might have enjoyed the trailer personally, it's a fact that it was not widely well received. That's from die-hard Dragon Age fans as well as the general public. So the initial reception was a failure if the goal was overwhelmingly positive response. For many gamers, seeing the trailer would be the end of it, the end of the story with Dragon Age. Dragon Age isn't for me, no point reserving hype for it, there are plenty of other games. Which is a shame because I genuinely feel this game has a wider appeal than is let on. Granted, there are plenty of people who just want to watch Bioware burn. To those people, I want to extend a very respectful fuck off. So the trailer is not the end of the debacle. Oh no, there was much more that went wrong, from the next video to the gameplay reveal to whatever IGN thought they were doing with the character creator and their video compression. Before we get into that though, let me throw together what I think would have served as a better trailer, what they should have showcased instead to really whet people's appetites. Let me know below if you agree with me.
The Veil is a wound inflicted upon this world. It must be healed.
By drowning the world in demons?
I have taken precautions to minimize the damage, Varric.
Minimize the... People are dying right now. You need to listen. Why tear down the Veil, knowing all the lives it'll cost?
We shared a journey years ago. Do you believe that I would do this if there was some other better option?
Now, obviously, I'm too lazy to invest some real effort here, but hopefully that shows the point I'm trying to make. The game has so much more that could have been showcased, which would have enticed rather than divide. Also, I want to apologize to whomever was in charge of this trailer. I'm ripping into you, but I understand there's a lot more than just one opinion here. So moving on, next up was the gameplay reveal. It showcased the mission right after character creation. You're a level 1 rogue with only one skill, during a linear section of the game. I understand it's a big set piece and the city looks beautiful. However, this also divided people and caused more asinine chatter. Why? Well, think about it. What does Dragon Age do well? Choices and consequences. What you saw was an extremely linear part of the game with a character that, at level 1, had very few options in combat. The first I saw of Veilguard was admittedly the leaks a few years ago that revealed an action-based game with a handful of skills. I was dreadwolfing the day they confirmed this direction. Myself and many others would have preferred a non-action approach, and this simplistic level 1 style of combat really didn't sell the merits of the shift to action. All I and the others saw was fewer choices, what they took away. From an outsider's perspective looking in, Dragon Age now is far less of what it was. Level 1 combat and a linear section of the game, though beautiful, was not the showcase the game needed. They need to showcase sections of combat later on, with your team, which actually was highlighted in the customization video Bioware released later on. Sidebar, it has to be said that the UI and the over-reliance on purples does not do the game any favors, visually. It paints the wrong picture in your mind's eye. If you were to take that color away and replace it with any other color, things start to look a bit cleaner visually, a bit more serious, as some people accuse it of not being. This is all rich coming from me, where my channel's theme is purple and has been for many years, but my channel does intend to look a bit more whimsical. It's Dantix, which is a combination of Dan and Antics. Purple was very much an intentional color choice to give you particular vibes. In Dragon Age's case, it does rub one crowd the wrong way, the ones who like the old black and white with splashes of red blood UI and logos from Origins. I understand that completely. Now, I'm in a position where both die-hard fans will come at me aggressively saying everything is fine and I'm crazy, and others will come at me aggressively saying it looks awful, which is why I knew making this video would not be an easy pill to swallow. But let's reach some common ground here. Veilguard does look more whimsical and cartoony, I'm sorry to say, but it's not because of how it plays or how it actually looks in practice to everyone. It's because the over-reliance on purples, the cluttered UI, the initial bad trailers, and the horrible IGN previews trigger different associated feelings within different people. A friend told me that purples remind him of Disney, for example, and Disney films aren't exactly what you want to put next to Dragon Age if you played the series to feel like a badass. Speaking of the IGN previews...
What the hell was that?
Come on, IGN, this is what you chose to make this Canary? What is more impressive is that Bioware let them show this footage. Admirable, but stupid. If you compare IGN's footage to literally anything else, it shows a bad compression and a bad choice of character. When you see some of the footage collected from other outlets, journalists, and creators, you'll notice that the characters have less smooth skin, more textures, and details. IGN's showcase only really showcased smooth, almost Vaseline-covered faces. Not only that, they only seem to like showcasing absolutely horrible combat. I'm sorry to whoever was playing here, but maybe focus on the gameplay more than talking because, yeah, this really made combat seem awful. Now, I don't know what kind of deal EA or Bioware worked out with IGN, but it feels a bit like social suicide these days. Gamers trust IGN very little, and the fact that they have exclusive coverage on this makes it seem even more disingenuous. Everyone else who got to play the game legally had to wait until the 19th to release their thoughts and content, whereas IGN got free reign, meaning influencers legally couldn't even comment on what IGN showed because it was the same sections as what they got to play and signed an NDA for, setting many content creators back weeks, making it so the loudest Dragon Age supporter was IGN and only IGN. Not a good look when Bioware really needs coverage from a range of sources. That all changes on the 19th to overwhelmingly positive reception, which Dragon Age the Veilguard should have had from the start. So many factors aligned perfectly to negatively impact the reception of Dragon Age the Veilguard that I hope other developers take note of this and study. From its awful release trailer to showcasing the wrong things to giving exclusive coverage to a group that highlight the wrong things, have some bad faith, and stop others from posting positive things. If people could get their hands on the game and play it for themselves, wish lists and pre-orders would be a lot higher, because what the game does right, the scale of choices and consequences, they really do get right. So what do you think? Let me know below. Please keep it civil. I know taking a balanced and reasonable stance here opens myself up for opinions from both sides. So before you post, just consider that your opinion may not be the only one, and your circle of association may give you a perception of reality that's different from the whole. But I'm always willing to discuss. I'll try to get to as many of you as I can. Don't forget, competition is still going on, so for everything RPG, you're in the right place. Ciao, friends.